So today I'm going to teach you how to navigate Pinterest, one of many social media channels that can be useful for any company or individual. So this is the main interface for a profile. The first thing you're going to want to do is create a profile for your company or for yourself. Upon sign up, you can link it directly to your Facebook or Twitter accounts, which is helpful for brand messaging and keeping things consistent. So once you've created your profile, you're going to have an interface sort of like this. It'll be pretty empty at that point. The first thing you're going to want to do is edit your profile by including your name, uploading a photo or a logo. It's going to tell you what your username is. And then you're going to want to include a little blurb about you and your company description. It helps users just sort of understand where you're coming from and why they may want to follow you. You may want to include your location and, of course, your website. You're going to save this, and that's going to appear at the top of your profile there. So the first thing you're going to want to do is create a board, and by simply clicking on this icon here, you're able to do that. So we're going to create a new board for today called Learning Pinterest. So you're going to want to include a name, a short description, which will help users understand what the board is about and why that board may be helpful for them. Maybe they want to follow that particular board, not just the pins. So categorization is a huge part of Pinterest and what makes Pinterest successful and interesting compared to other social networks. So when you're creating a board, you really need to keep in mind this importance and choosing a category that actually represents what is going to be held in that board. So for this purpose, we're learning something. I'm going to put it under education, but you may want to include it under events or photography or products, depending on the goal of the board itself. So I'm going to choose education. You can link a map up to it, may be helpful for specific events. You also have the option of creating a secret board. This means that no one in the public can see it except for you. This may be helpful if you're planning an event and you're not ready for the information to be released to the public, or you just want to use it for your own personal use and you don't want anyone else to know that you're pinning those things. So I can create it, make it secret, or just leave it public. There's also the collaborators option here, which means that you can invite other people to add to the board, pin to the board. May be helpful for team members. Maybe you don't have just one person working on social media, you have multiple people. So you can add them there through their name, which would be their Pinterest account, or linking an email to it. It may also be helpful if you're working with another company and you're creating a joint board. You could add them there too. So I'm going to go ahead and create this board. And this is the interface you have. We can see the title, the description, and we have 0 pins. So the first thing you're going to want to do is create a pin. There's 2 options. One is to upload a pin just by clicking on this plus sign. Uploading a pin is coming directly from your computer, and pin from a website means you can pin it directly, a link from a story or a photo that you found online. So I'm going to upload a pin directly from my computer first. We're going to choose an image. You're going to choose the image from wherever it's saved. There are specifications on size, but it will tell you if it is too big. So this is the interface that comes up once you've pinned from your computer. You're going to want to add a description. And then you're going to choose which board you want the pin to stay on. So I will want it on Learning Pinterest. This is another way of creating a new board through creating a pin first. So I'm going to add it to Learning Pinterest. And then I can see that it's been added to my board over here. I'm going to see it now, in which case the pin comes up. And I have a few options. One is to share it through other social media, which may be helpful for cross-posting. I can send it to another pinner, or I can edit it. So this option comes up here. I can work on the description more. I can link it to a website or to a place. So I'm going to link it to the website so that it doesn't appear as though it's coming directly from my desktop. So I'm going to choose save, but it's also going to tell me that I need to include a full URL. So you're going to have to add the HTTP there. This is an option here to delete the pin if you decide that you no longer want it, it doesn't work. It's super easy right there. So I'm going to save. Then I can go back to my board and I can see now it's been pinned from bytownevents.com, not from user. The other option of creating a pin is through a website. The first way would be to download the app for your browser, in which case you're cruising on the web and you found something really cool that you want to pin. You don't want to go directly to Pinterest. You can simply click on the pin, and it'll give you some options as to images that it's finding on that website that you may want to pin. Or you can simply grab the link to the website and upload it this way from the website here. I'm going to say next. It's going to give me the same options as choosing an image to represent the pin. So I'm going to say this one here. I'm going to add a description, Pinterest 101. I'm going to choose for it to live on Learning Pinterest. I'm going to pin it right there. I'm going to go back and see it. You can also go see your boards at any time by clicking on your name up here. So I can see my board here. But aside that, after all, I don't like the board, I can always go back and delete it. And just like you can delete individual pins. So now I want to invite my friends to come and see my board. You can do it a multitude of ways through different channels, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Yahoo. You can even send them an email and invite them. And if there's multiple collaborators, this is where that will show up. So we can see that we only have 2 followers. One way to gain followers is obviously by following followers. So if you can quickly unfollow a follower, or you can follow someone simply by clicking on the follow button. So this user follows us. I'm going to follow her back. I can visit her profile. I can unfollow her through here. I can also send her a message if I want to. And I can see all of her boards and her pins here. If there's something on her Pinterest that I like, but I don't necessarily want it to show up on my own boards, I simply click on this small heart. It means I like it, but I don't want to pin it. And then if you go back to your profile, you can see your likes. The other option is using the search. So as mentioned before, the categorization of Pinterest is what makes it unique. You can access the search through categorization in this drop-down menu, which are sort of what hold all of the pins together. They all are categorized within one of these categories here. So if I'm looking for music lyrics, I can simply type it in, and it'll give me a multitude of different pins that have been categorized as music lyrics. But if I want to specify that even more and find inspirational music lyrics, I can click on this one, and it will specialize for me so-called inspirational music lyrics. So I really like this pin, and I want to repin it onto one of my boards. So I'm simply going to click pin it. You also have the option of sending it directly to a friend with a message. I'm going to pin it. It's going to ask me which board I want to pin it to, and I'm going to pin it right there. And then I can see back on my board that this is showing up here. You may also want to choose which pin you want to represent the board. Maybe I don't like this Cookie Monster Cupcake Pinterest fail, so I'm going to go to Edit Board, change a cover. So you can move it around, you can scale it, you can choose which photo you want to represent the board. You're going to save the changes. Save again, and now when you go back to your interface, you can see that that is the one that has been chosen. So that is very quickly Pinterest 101. I hope you learned a bit, and good luck pinning.